This past season, the Los Angeles Lakers had LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, and a whole bunch of disappointment. LeBron James is 37 years old and still playing at a high level. Despite LeBron James playing at a high level this season, who knows how much longer he has playing at this level. The unfortunate reality is that LeBron James is not getting any younger. You can always give Father Time a run for his money, but at the end of the day, Father Time is undefeated. You know what? There's actually this interesting question that's been on my mind, and that's, would you guys rather go all in with this Los Angeles Lakers team and LeBron James, who again is 37 years old and only has 1 year remaining on their contract, or would you try to look towards the future and recoup some of the assets that you lost along the way? There's been a lot of talk about the Los Angeles Lakers losing the Anthony Davis trade, and I think that's a little bit crazy considering that the Los Angeles Lakers literally won a championship after trading for Anthony Davis. I think that the AD trade was a massive win-win for both teams involved. I mean, there doesn't always have to be a winner and a loser when we're talking trades, right? With the Los Angeles Lakers losing the Russell Westbrook trade and Bron not getting any younger, this team has to make its next move its best move. The postseason isn't even over yet, and we already have a ton of news on the Russell Westbrook front. Some of this news even surprised me. Around the time that the regular season ended, Westbrook was asked about running it back with the Los Angeles Lakers. He responded with, "That's the plan, but nothing is promised. Yes, we want to be able to see what that looks like, what that entails over the course of an 82-game season. I just hope we have a chance to be able to do something in the future." Westbrook saying this wasn't the biggest surprise to me, not because I automatically assumed Westbrook was opting in or anything like that, but what's he going to say? "I'm done, see you guys later, I'm not returning to Los Angeles"? Don't get me wrong, he's gave us some great quotes that we're going to discuss in this video, but none of his quotes have been quite that brutal. April 15th, it will be reported that the Los Angeles Lakers have more boundaries than advertised when it comes to weighing Westbrook trades, with one league source saying that injury histories would be a prime consideration in any deal, given how injuries have so routinely intruded upon the last 2 seasons for both 37-year-old LeBron James and 29-year-old Anthony Davis. This bit of information would come from Mark Stein. Why is this information important? It's important because the Charlotte Hornets have reportedly been linked to Russell Westbrook. It's assumed that Charlotte would want to move the contract of Gordon Hayward in the event of a Westbrook trade, somebody that has sadly had the injuries pile up. When healthy, I think that Gordon Hayward is still a good player. When he's not healthy, that hefty contract looks a lot worse than it already is. Reportedly, the Lakers would much rather Rozier over Hayward, but at this point, are they in position to be calling the shots? Honestly, I'm not really sure that I buy the Hornets' interest in Russell Westbrook, but these reports are interesting nonetheless. I actually applaud the Lakers' thought process for not trying to take on injury-prone players. At the end of the day, the best ability can be availability. You can be a top 5 player in the league, but you have to be healthy and playing for your team in order for them to feel your impact on the floor. For as much criticism as Westbrook has gotten this season, at least he was available for most of the Lakers' games, playing 78 out of 82. It's also not a surprise that the Lakers would be looking into moving on from Russell Westbrook, given the fact that LeBron James and Anthony Davis really didn't care for him. And that's me putting things nicely. Every now and then there would be a moment where we'd see LeBron or AD show pseudo support for Westbrook, but let's be real. We all know how they really felt about the situation. When it was brought up that LeBron and AD said many times through the year, "Let Russ be Russ," Russ immediately responded with, "Yeah, but that wasn't true. Let's be honest." Even Westbrook was able to see through the facade. Without LeBron James this season, Westbrook shot 46.7% from the field, while averaging 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. Westbrook's numbers this year weren't actually that bad, but in the words of Russell Westbrook, they weren't good enough. Westbrook said that this wasn't my best season, just going off my own personal scale. Obviously, I'm coming off averaging a triple-double, so anything less than that would not be a good season for me in my eyes. You know what I'm saying. I really do try to support Russell Westbrook, and I feel terrible about the way things transpired this season for him. But when he says things like this, I feel like he's proving everybody right. A triple-double would have hit though. Right, Laker fans? I'm just joking, please don't take that too seriously. The good news is, While Westbrook's contract is massive, if he were to opt in, there would only be 1 year left on it. Also, there are a lot of signs pointing to him not being a Los Angeles Laker next season. A writer from The Athletic was asked if the Los Angeles Lakers would move on from Russell Westbrook this offseason. That writer would respond with, "The $1 million answer is yes." The 25th, The Athletic's Buha wrote that based on their deadline activity and everything that I've heard dating back to last season, I think that the Lakers are going to do everything they can to retain their 2027 and 2029 first-round picks. But if trading one of those picks is the best path to dumping Westbrook and/or significantly improving the roster, I think that they will strongly consider it. Now here's where things get fun. Apparently Russell Westbrook has deleted all of his posts relating to the Los Angeles Lakers on IG. Now, before we get too excited, he also deleted all of his posts relating to the Washington Wizards and Houston Rockets also. There's still personal posts on his IG and posts relating to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, all of this could mean nothing, or it could mean everything when you add in the fact that Sam Presti has a lot of love for Russell Westbrook, while having this weird obsession with acquiring as many picks as possible. I know OKC didn't have the best record this season, but contrary to popular belief, I actually think that their roster is loaded with a ton of talent. They've got quite a few guys on their roster who could help teams win now. Do I think that Russell Westbrook is getting traded to OKC? No. Was that fun to talk about for a brief second? Yes. Now I do think that there's something behind Russell Westbrook liking this comment on IG that said that he needs to leave the Lakers at all costs. Apparently Russell Westbrook liked the comment saying please don't go back next year. Do whatever it takes to go somewhere else or even consider retiring, but leave the Lakers alone. Dude, please. I really hate what this situation has come to because it's obvious that a situation like this could be really draining for anybody. Russell Westbrook throughout his career has been a player that thrives off of confidence. Seeing his confidence and his spirit be broken is something that I really never want to have to see again. I think that when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers and Russell Westbrook, a mutual split would be the best course of action for both parties. With that being said, $50 million is a lot of money to turn down. I want to know what you guys think about Russell Westbrook liking that comment in the comments below. Do you guys really think that Russell Westbrook and the Los Angeles Lakers are done? What does a trade for Russell Westbrook even look like at this point? I've seen people bring up the Pacers, the Hornets. I imagine that we're only going to see more names as time progresses if Westbrook really doesn't opt out. If you guys were Russell Westbrook, what would you do in this situation? Me, I'm probably opting in. $50 million is a ton, I don't care who you are, and on top of that, my contract would be a 1-year deal that's expiring. There are going to be teams trying to clear cap space. It's really going to come down to what contracts are you going to be taking back. Again, let me know what you guys think of everything down in the comments below. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop. Until our next upload.